All right, guys, it is the middle of May. I don't even know what today is, like the 17th, 18th, something like that. It is a beautiful day. It's like mid 60s. Last week was in the 90s, but we kind of needed it to get everything dried out. So we're out here at a lease that I share with Tom Alford, who you see behind me cleaning up the food plot, and Matt Miller. So three of us hunting out here. You know, last year, man, I don't think we shot any deer out here last year. I almost killed a giant right on the other side across this wetland area late season, but was unable to get a shot at him. We know he's still here because Tommy picked up both of his sheds this year. So what we're doing for this year is Tommy, really not, I say we, but it's really Tommy, has just gone crazy during the off season because he's got the time and the equipment, and he's come out here and he's cleared a bunch of new areas for us to put food in. You know, we've got about an 80-acre chunk here, and the spot that we're hunting is all 100% timber and wetlands, and there's zero food in it. There's food around it, but nothing in it. So what Tommy did was he came in here, he made all of our food plots bigger, and he made a couple of new food plots. So this is a new plot that Tommy cleared out. He just rototilled it yesterday with Matt's tiller here. He's got the stand up here already. Tommy's calling it the kill tree. But this is a spot where historically there's scrapes underneath this tree every year. I usually have a camera on that tree back there. Yeah, you got a big vine.
So I've tied a vine to it.
Yeah, right. There's always scrapes right underneath this tree, but we've never really been able to hunt it. So Tommy came in, cleared everything. So what we're doing today is we're going to throw a little bit of extra fertilizer down, and then we're going to seed, and we're going to drag it. So we got a new moose spreader that we're going to be using to put the fert and the seed down, and then we'll use the harrow to run over it and level everything out while Tommy does some additional rototilling just to try to break this ground up. This was all just junk, right? I mean, native.
Yeah, so like really the best thing if you do have a tiller and you've got it rented for a couple days, the best thing to do when you come into a native area is till everything once, clean it all out, and then give it the chance to dry out. So now that it's dry, this is from yesterday, all these big chunks are basically gonna fly apart. You can see they're still wet on the inside. But once you get everything rototilled a second time, it's like dust. It's totally pulverized, and the seed goes down perfect, and you drag it right in.
Better seed bed.
And having like the rototiller tines get down, the more fluffy the soil, the better results you're going to have, because roots are able to go through that versus trying to go into compacted soil.
Right. It's bigger than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, and the other nice thing too is like we've tried to always take all our high spots, and really only areas that we can make food plots are some of these high spots on the property. It's already a natural travel corridor, so all we're doing is trying to force them to come through here, stay on the high spots so they can still feed. That line over there is basically a 25-yard shot from that tree. So that's the whole idea, is to get the food all within shooting range for the most part. Obviously minus that, but we don't know what we're going to do over there. We might do something taller. I realized after I put the stand up, you can't see that lane, which is something I wanted to see because they do.
Once those leaves start coming down off those cottonwoods, they'll come down early. You'll be able to see down there.
Yeah,
maybe not early
also
season.
So there's actually a pond back here, and there's a squeak-through trail that the deer do go over on that side. And obviously, if you see something crossing, call them over or whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, we've been hunting this spot for how many years now? 7 years. So I mean, the very first year we had a food plot over there. It looks like you tilled that too. Yeah. And I actually shot a doe in that plot out of one of those trees over there. But not every time, but a lot of times that I sat that, I would see deer come from here, kind of come through this area and head that direction. They'd kind of take this little trail on the outside of this little swamp right here, because we do have a swamp and a pond there, another one here. So this section right here is just a natural little funnel. It's just a good spot. And then the other thing, it's a good spot. You know, it's hard. This stand's a hard stand to hunt though, because you kind of need those east winds again, right? I mean, on a northwest wind, you're going right out over this food plot, so you're probably not going to be able to hunt it. You might be able to get away with it on a southwest.
Yeah. So like what I found too is there's a lot of so does tend to bed in here, which obviously that's tough, but the bucks tend to bed over there. So like there's a buck bedding, and then those woods over there. So basically you just have to avoid those areas. I'm not really super concerned with the does, to be honest, like, because I'm not shooting them. Out here we don't have a lot of doe numbers, but yeah, I'd plan on a south wind. And the other thing too I want to mention is like we have another food plot over here that we used to hunt. Because it is so close to the bedding, we probably won't end up hunting that at all, but we are just gonna, we still are gonna put
more
food
food
in
the
there.
better. We want to try to keep deer in.
We can see them from up there, so gonna change the dynamics of this whole place because we also have another giant food plot over there. So it's gonna be interesting to see how they navigate through here and where their destination is, or if they go that way to corn or that way to corn.
Never have too much food.
But never
Let's
too much
fertilize.
food.
Let's go out.
All right.
Fertilize. We're gonna put it. All right, well, we're on to food plot number 3. Tommy's still tilling away over there. It's never good enough. We have a Tom Alford seed concoction here. I know there's clover, chicory, rape, some throw and grow, ryegrass, clover, rape, scarlet, white clover, red clover, rape, arrow leaf clover, and ladino clover, and some chicory. The good stuff there. Put it right in front of our tree stand. This is the secret. Plant the most in front of the stand. So fertilizer's down. I'm going to go ahead and spread all this. I think we have more than enough for the size of this food plot. You know, Brad, you can pan out here and look, but like you can see the lower spot always grows better because you can just see the difference in the soil color, right? You got this super dark, black, rich soil that's down low. And then up on that hill, it just never seems to grow that great. Fortunately, the stuff that grows well is right in front of the tree stand. So that's usually where the deer feed, down in the front. So we're going to plant that first, and then we'll move up top. And then we're going to run over it with the harrow just to try to bury the seed just a little bit. And then we're done for the day. So let's go.
You can get that rock out?
You having trouble with it?
Right now I gotta get it.
These rocks take up too much real estate.
This rock is like,
Oh, you got it.
it's not even round. Oh my God. You know what? That rock's gonna stay. See that rock right here? I'm gonna paint it pink. And there's my stand. So when the buck comes to sniff that rock, or lick it, because maybe it's got minerals on it, whammo, 23 yards.
The rock stays.
No, but in all seriousness, so that's the stand right there. It's a killer spot. This winter I came in here, this was all buckthorn like that. And I mowed it all down. And the idea is to leave it the first year because you can see all the native stuff coming back. All the little multifloral. So this will kind of be like a browsing area. And then obviously the clover will be much more manicured. But for whatever reason, when the deer come out here, come from that corner, they used to get to like right here. Well, before with this line of trees, you couldn't shoot them. Just like in that video where the 10-pointer, the big 8.
Yeah, that's right.
He
Came out.
here, and he stood right here. I couldn't shoot him. The last time I could shoot him was when he was over there at 40. So yeah, so then they walk here, they sniff my rock, I put an arrow in them, or they continue on, and then there's a little trail I blazed around that swamp. There's actually a bunch of acorns, big swamp oaks over there, and that's where that next stand was. This should work out dynamite. Same thing over here, I did the same thing with the native mowing. This was all heavy buckthorn. Came in here with the forestry head, mowed it all down to the ground. You can see the stumps. Stumps are everywhere. But we'll just let this grow up. So by the end of the season, it'll probably end up being about this high. But the deer love this stuff. They browse all over on all this. That's all right. So this, in 2 years, will convert over to probably more clover, maybe beans. I want to eventually be able to get into that corner there. But what I found was a lot of times the bucks are bedding in there in the winter. So that's why I left a little bit of a buffer. Keep them back that way. And same thing here with this food plot. They were bedding on the edge. So right when we'd walk in, they'd see us. So I pushed it back a little bit just to force them down the hill so we can enter that stand in the afternoon and hopefully they don't see us. There you go. That might have been a record.
That was a good toss.
All right, well, we just finished up with 3 food plots. Tommy's out there. He's going to finish up, I think, the 4th. Looks like we might have a little bit of rain coming in this afternoon, so hopefully we have some rain. We can germinate that seed and we'll have some good food plots out there come fall. But that is it for today. We're headed back to the office, get some work done, so we'll see you guys next time.
Over there is 40. This will be my other rock marker.